Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
The chief says 3 teenagers stayed calm, did the right thing, and saved 2 lives as this house went up in flames. The teenagers were just driving down the street in Livonia when they saw smoke coming from the back of the house.
They didn't just keep driving. They called 911 and then stopped and took action. Sean Lay live with more. And Sean, there were 2 people inside that house.
2 people inside the home. Let's get right to the video because these 3 teens saved their lives.
I mean, it was like 100 degrees in the house, easy, more.
Chase Adams, Ethan Morshea, and Colin Anderson, 2 16-year-olds and a 15-year-old, and they are heroes.
I'm glad we did it. I wouldn't have done anything different.
Monday, the classmates from Livonia's Churchill High School returning from the store when they saw smoke and fire roaring out of a garage on Ellen Drive, spreading to the home. A doorbell camera capturing how the 3 did not hesitate to not only run towards the danger, they ran into the danger when they heard screams of a mother and son coming from inside the home.
The front door didn't open, so we ran around back and opened it up, and they were both standing right there yelling and saying my house is on fire.
Chase and Ethan finding a way into the home from the back. Chase getting one person out. When they called for Ethan still inside, things got even more intense. He didn't respond. He was going after the woman in the home who would not leave.
The lady wanted to go get jewelry and her other belongings out of the house. So she went up to her bedroom, and I mean, she didn't want to come out of the house.
When Ethan, we thought we lost him in the house. What if he didn't get out, smoke in his lungs? So when he came out, it was a big relief.
Chase flagging down firefighters as they arrived. Parents so proud.
They just saved people, saved people's lives.
They're really good guys. They're good boys.
We just thought it was the right thing to do, get them out.
This was a very smoky fire, as you could see. More smoky inside, according to the 3 teenagers here. The 2 people they saved treated for smoke inhalation, but they're going to be okay. You know, in a smoky fire, more time inside, that is not good. Also very dangerous for the boys, but great save on their part, guys.
Sure was. Justifiable pride from the parents there. How much damage is there now to the house, Sean?
This is a big-time house fire. Big-time damage from the garage all the way into the house. Smoke, water damage, and flames. Big-time fire.
Yeah.
These guys, so they did not hesitate. That's the key.
And time was of the essence, no doubt. All right, Sean. State police are still investigating a road rage shooting that shut down a busy freeway during the morning commute.
They say 2 drivers got into it in the eastbound express lanes of I-96 near Wyoming. They say a woman in a Dodge Charger slammed on her brakes, then pulled out a gun and fired at the other driver. The victim was not shot. Police shut down the eastbound lanes to investigate but couldn't find any shell casings. They continue to look into the circumstances. DTE is still hoping to have power restored to 80% of people by tonight. Right now, 93,000 customers are still without power after Monday's storms. You can see from this updated DTE map, the outages are widespread across the area. DTE says it has more than 2,000 crews in the field, half of them from out of state.
Well, at the very least, the weather has been good to help for the crews that are out there trying to restore power, and also not too hot for those who don't have any power, waiting for the air conditioning to come back on. A live look from our Mount Clemens Skycam right now, and the heat and humidity now are going to make a comeback for this holiday weekend.
Let's get over to Paul Gross for the update. Hi, Paul.
Yeah, hi there. And unfortunately, the heat and humidity are going to be back starting tomorrow. So we're going to cut it close for some of you who don't have power back until tomorrow. But for most of us, this worked out pretty good with the last 2 days being very, very comfortable. But you can see low 80s across the area. The only exception is near the big lakes, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, from a satellite perspective, it is severe clear. You can see clear skies all across the Great Lakes here. No weather to talk about except for sunshine. So this evening, we're going to have a beautiful evening. If you're grilling, you're out just for that after dinner walk, whatever you have planned, just falling from these low 80s through the 70s during the evening hours. The wind will be light. Very, very nice evening. But now we have to talk about, again, the return of that heat and humidity and talk about our weekend rain chances. We'll do just that coming up in just a few minutes. But let's just say this. The rain chances have diminished a bit from what we were looking at yesterday, but there's still a chance. So we'll, again, time that out for you coming up in just a bit, guys.
All right, Paul. Let's get to breaking news now. The battle over voting rights and reproductive rights in Michigan are, as we expected, headed to the Michigan Supreme Court.
We're talking about two separate ballot proposals after the State Board of Canvassers deadlocked on the vote to put the issues on the ballot, and one of them was filed in the past 15 minutes. Rod Maloney is live tonight. Rod, this needs to happen pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, it needs to happen by September 9th, that's when they have to have the ballots out. But the situation with the abortion situation goes like this. They have the court filing. The State Board of Canvassers has one issue, they said, in this legal filing that just came out just minutes ago. I'm still trying to read all of it. But they're saying that the State Board of Canvassers cannot disenfranchise over 750,000 Michiganders by avoiding their clear legal duty to certify the petition proposed by Reproductive Freedom for All when the petition has collected well beyond the requisite signatures and meets all statutory form of petition requirements. And the court precedent says no. And so that's their claim. That just arrived in the Supreme Court, just came back as approved in terms of acceptance. And now let's hear where this is all going to be headed.
And this is an egregious error of the form and the way this is laid out. And so I just want to make sure that I'm clear on that.
Michigan Board of Canvassers Chair Anthony Daunt said a run-on sentence without spaced words, not the content of the petition, is what left him voting not to send the Reproductive Freedom for All petition to the ballot. Over the last decade, petition drive organizers brought 9 similar appeals to the Michigan Supreme Court, and it greenlighted 8 of them. Gongwer News Service Bureau Chief Zach Gorchow said today that he's been there for most of them and believes the Board of Canvassers' concerns aren't likely to matter much here.
The Supreme Court, with changing justices over the last 10 years, but there's been a consensus that by and large, unless it's a really flagrant mistake, they're not just going to willy-nilly kick something off the ballot.
Now, I'm told by the Michigan Supreme Court office today that the justices might not even have enough time to have what you would consider to be a formal hearing where they put all the judges on the bench and have the arguments by the attorneys. What they're saying is it's likely that this is going to end up being a Zoom call between the justices, taking a look at the filings from both sides to see who would vote how on that situation. So we're going to have to wait and see how the Supreme Court decides to act on that. Back to you.
A lot happening just in the past few minutes. And Ron, I know you spoke to reps from Right to Life. What are they saying about this?
Yeah. Well, the name of the group is called Support Michigan Women and Children. Okay. What they're saying is that when the opposition made their filing to the Supreme Court today, they took and put spaces between all the words that were not on the petition. And they say that that is an issue, that the form actually does matter. And so that they believe that this entire situation is a bad one, and they're going to be fighting to make sure that it stays off of the ballot. So this is going to get interesting in the days ahead.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth and still a lot more to come. Rod, we appreciate it. Devin.
Today in a Florida courtroom, the battle over whether an independent special master is needed to oversee the classified documents seized from Mar-a-Lago. Former President Trump's legal team argued that left unchecked, investigators could selectively leak parts of the investigation, while the DOJ insists that delaying the investigation could compromise national security. Alice Barr following it from Washington. Alice.
Good evening. Today marked the first time that lawyers for each side have faced off in a courtroom since the FBI search of the former president's home. A library book? Is that what you said? High drama, but no decision today as the Justice Department and the Trump legal team squared off in a federal courtroom. The judge promising a written ruling later on about whether to bring in an independent special master to review evidence seized during the FBI search of former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The Trump legal team arguing that without a third-party review, quote, unchecked Justice Department investigators could selectively leak aspects of their investigation. Trump attorneys zeroing in on this photo from an earlier Justice Department filing showing the FBI recovered top-secret material from Mar-a-Lago. The Trump team alleging the documents were spread across the floor for dramatic effect.
That is not the way his office looks. Anybody that knows President Trump's office, he has guests frequently there.
The argument that visitors frequented the former president's personal office where several classified documents were found could undercut his team's claims sensitive materials were held in a secure setting. The Justice Department arguing that government records were likely concealed and removed before the FBI search, and that the Trump legal team misled investigators about what it did turn over. Trump attorneys calling that claim significantly mischaracterized and suggesting it's normal to keep presidential records, though the law says they belong to the government. The former president defending himself today on a conservative radio show.
It's not like this was some sinister plot.
Again, calling the investigation political while pointing to his rising poll numbers, claiming the legal troubles are actually helping him. This all comes as President Biden is giving a primetime speech tonight in Philadelphia. While the White House is billing it as an official address, the president is returning to his central campaign message about the battle for the soul of America, arguing democracy is under attack. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
All right, Alice, and we will be streaming the president's address live tonight on clickondetroit.com.
Some good news to report tonight at the site of the big water main break in Fort Gratiot. The Great Lakes Water Authority says all the replacement pipe is now in the ground. Crews are now working to connect the sections and pour a concrete foundation. There's no word yet on an updated timeline for when the project will be complete.